So, hello. I wanted today to talk about the fundamentals of guitar practice, like the building blocks that give you the ability to practice playing on the guitar. Mechanical wise. So why I do not agree with all sorts of videos, courses about how to get faster on the guitar. I'm not saying all of them are, I would not agree with them, but with quite a lot of them. Okay, so let me. So I'll just speak without the paint. So imagine. Looking for good analogy. Well, in order to play the guitar, first you will need to, get relaxed. Get rid of any tension in your body. And for a beginner, it will be, not necessarily hard, but for majority of the beginners, I assume it will be very hard. And the reason for that would be Jesus. The fact that for any reason they are really tense with their body. I want you to think about this, stressed body parts. So stressed left hand, right hand, or your back, shoulders, things like that. This area, this area, this area, even legs. And imagine that all those body parts have to be relaxed in order to start practicing the guitar. If you are not relaxed, your practice will not count. I mean, it goes towards nothing, this practice. And actually, not just that it goes to nothing, it actually will cause you even probably degradation in your, in improvements. Because you're not practicing correctly. And what does it mean to practice correctly? In time. So this means to practice correctly, it means to practice in time. Once you are in time, you will discover that your body parts they are not tensed anymore. They are relaxed. Suddenly, because your body parts are relaxed, you can control, well, because they are loosened, you can control them better. Because when your body parts are contracted, then you cannot control it, right? If it's squeezed, then the only thing it can do is, yeah, I think just squeeze harder. Which will cause even more stress. So how to achieve this, ultimate relax mode? You achieve it by getting the relax in right hand, in left hand, and then you have to bring those two relaxed hands to the state where they are relaxed together. But if your fingertips are not relaxed, I'm talking even about the fingertips of your hand, of your fingers. They have to be relaxed. And it's all about getting relaxed. Really, it all boils down to be relaxed with your hands, with your body parts. The problem is how to achieve, that state where you are relaxed. And some people will be so-called natural. Some people will call them, they are talented. They have talent. They were born with some, talent. And some people, they will be told that they are not talented, as they will be stressed out from the very beginning. And there are some people which are already loosened up. Their bodies are already loosened up, when they are in the first contact with the guitar. So it all depends from person, I would say. And during my practice, what I am trying to achieve is I am trying to learn the building blocks of the guitar playing. So what in my opinion, what are the building blocks? The building blocks are, for example, 16th notes, the 8th notes, the quarter notes, half notes. If that's the way I see it, is that if I will not be comfortable with them, my body will be for sure stressed out. And actually there is no point learning anything, like there is no point learning any song or practicing any lick, etc., because it all boils down whether you have the building blocks implemented, inside of yourself. Because everybody just assumes, apparently, because, well, that's how it looks like to me, that everybody just assumes that let's say there is a video on YouTube, how to train this or train that, and it has, like, I don't know, 100,000 views. Do you really think that from those 100,000 people, all people will understand that you're not supposed to train this unless you actually know the fundamentals? Like, there is no, because there will be some beginners like myself that will think that it's actually demanded from the person to be able to do some, I don't know, even easy lick, and train on easy lick. And in my opinion, it's not possible. At least for me, it's not possible. There will be some people, of course, that they will be called, oh, they are natural. And they will probably understand how to use the guitar in maybe in minutes or hours. But what I'm trying to say is that everybody can pick up on the guitar, and you don't have to to have 100 IQ in order to understand how it works. So imagine that you want to build a road, right? A road, like let's say that's just like, it doesn't matter what it's gonna be. It's just like a concept. And in order to build the road, you need to, have parts, right? You have to have some parts in order, like building material that you will be using in order to build the road, like asphalt, like paint, like road signs, I don't know, pedestrian signs, zebras signs, right? Some grass, trees, I don't know, fences. And if you know how to build those things, then you know how to build the road, right? So let's say that I want to learn how to play the guitar, okay? And then I'm going to the YouTube and I'm like, how to play fast on the guitar. And the guy says, hey, I have a very great exercise for you, and trust me, my brother, if you'll do this exercise correctly, you will become shredder in no time. And the only outcome that will be probably is that you'll get depression, because you'll be like, hey, I want to be a shredder, and I want to shred, and you can't even perform this lick that should teach you how to shred. And in my opinion, that's because that person does not understand the fundamentals, so the building blocks of how the guitar works or how to operate the guitar. It's not just freaking take the pick, sit with the guitar, take a pick, and just strum. It's not that easy. To be honest with you, I had pleasure to work with guitar teachers according to which actually it's just like this, they say take the guitar, sit and just play, and then play faster. Clearly, you need to practice more, so that's bullshit, in my opinion. Why it's bullshit? Because they are not assuming that the person that is watching that video, he actually understands how to play what he sees, the notes. Because he might be such retarded like myself that he will be thinking that he's playing that notes, but actually he's not playing those notes. He's just playing something like like some sort of weird melody, but it has nothing to do with with the real rhythm, with the feeling, with the timing. And because of that, you are tensed. Because trust me, I think everybody's bodies feel naturally like the resonance of things. If you will go to a discotheque, maybe bad example, but I don't know, go to a concert, right, or listen to music, and you listen to some drums, and you're like, that's and imagine that you are doing this unconsciously, that you are dividing time in half, and you're just listening to the music, and you're bouncing with the music, right? So imagine that you are. So imagine that. how should I say it? Now I forgot what I was supposed to say. There are people like me that will actually be thinking that they are playing something correctly. They will meet a guitar teacher. The guitar teacher will tell them, "Hey, yeah, you're doing good. You're doing good. No, no, no. Don't say it like this. You're doing great. No, you don't suck. Believe in yourself. Blah blah blah. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit." He takes the money, and that's it. Instead of actually explaining you what should you know in order to try to consume those exercises, because you can't just go and start doing exercises or start playing songs, etc. Well, hold on, you can if you're more natural, blah 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 blah, but we're talking about people like me which are not natural. So the only thing which is not natural to me is dividing time. So I don't feel comfortable with dividing time. Okay? So, and I will almost say it's like I have an anxiety to divide time because I'm just afraid that I will not divide it evenly. But whatever. And in the beginning, my issues were so big that when I was driving my car, listening to some music in the car, and I was trying to play the drums, I don't know, kick on the steering wheel, I was not even able to do this, in sync with what I was hearing. It was that bad, you know. And basically, all I can tell you is that for 20 years I was trying to learn how to play the guitar, and I was not aware that it was never possible for me to learn the guitar if I do not understand the rhythm. And no teacher, I went to 8 or 10 different guitar teachers, and no guitar teacher explained me that, well, I'm not playing in time and this is how you're supposed to fix it, etc., etc. So maybe, I don't know, maybe they were good teachers, but it's very hard to spot this, I don't know. Or maybe a different reason, I don't know. But what I do know is that after meeting 8-10 different people, I was still stuck with the same issue. And this whole issue was still the same, like how to divide the time in two. So if you will hit the string, right, when you're supposed to hit the string another time, the next time. And it's all about that. How tight with the timing, well, with the metronome, so to say, you are. And if you think like, oh, I'm quite accurate, that's bullshit, bro. What the fuck? Either you accurate or you're not accurate. That's simple. I'm almost there. No, that doesn't work like this. If I'll ask you to play 1000 notes, your delay in the first mistake will be, I don't know, like 0.01 of a second. But by the, I don't know, 67th repetition of some note, your delay would be catastrophic already. You will probably be lost by that moment in what you're playing. So in my eyes, maybe it's not, you know, that easy, super possible to perform the timing 100% correctly. You know, I don't know. Maybe there are people that can do it correctly. I don't know. For sure, I will not be one of them. But you can try to be as close as possible. That's what we can do actually, to be as close as possible. And closer you are, the easier it will be to play things on the guitar. The more accurate you are with the music notes, then you will notice that your body is not fighting with you. And when I say the body is fighting with you, I mean that your muscles, your body parts are contracted and they are fatigued too much. So basically, in my eyes, you should learn the basic fundamental blocks, which are, you know, notes, how to play note groupings of 16 notes, 8 notes, quarter notes, and then different combinations. I will explain why the different combinations later. But in the beginning of like the real fundamentals, like the basic of the fundamentals would be you can do just one note, one string. You know, you don't need more. You just need one finger, one string, and then that's it. And your task is to build muscle memory for those note values in left hand, in right hand. And once your left hand and right hand, because trust me, you can't learn, I mean, okay, I'll put it like this, I can't learn those more than one thing at the same time. I just can't. So I can't practice my left hand by practicing left and right. That's hard for me. So I just focus on one thing. So if I would be practicing, then I will be focusing on how my left hand works and not how my left and right hand works. Just this one. Wouldn't care much about that one. And then sometimes I'll just play focusing on the right hand. And once the right hand feels confident on its own and the left hand feels confident on its own, then it's time to actually try to marry them, you know, to get in sync together. And you do it by first, that's how I do it, is that I try to, well, then I'm playing, I'm trying, so first I would focus on my right hand. And what does it mean? That you have to, for example, learn how to play 8 notes, right? So the only way, so if you'll start metronome, clearly I am exaggerating here to make my point. So if I would have to learn the 8 notes, then I would just focus on how to play 1/8 note grouping. So that would be okay. So that's basically it, right? But that's what I was actually thinking when I was practicing. I would call it practice. If I would be playing it like this, right? Then I would call it a practice, and so this would actually cause more damage, I think, than good, and it would not count towards the practice time because I mean you're not practicing the proper thing. So in order to build your first building block like 8 note, you need to learn how to play 8 note and feel it, build the muscle memory for the right hand, then to the left hand, right? And then you will be trying to think about all those things at the same time, so left hand and right hand. And you would be, first thinking more about, the timing on the left, and then you will be slowly adding focusing to the second hand. And now, how to build this first building block, right? So the first building block is about sitting on the, so you can't start without getting relaxed. So how to get relaxed? First, well, that's how I will sit. Oh, you can't see that, but there is this tiny stool I use for my leg. And the thing is that this is what I'm gonna do. My ass will go that way, and you will see that this leg will get more angle. See, like this. And I will also do not like that. I will not keep it like this, but I will keep it like that. And I will now hug the guitar. I will explain you in a second why you want to hug the guitar. So, for many years, I was destroying my shoulder, this here, and I was destroying it by doing something like playing on the guitar like this. Maybe there are people, maybe I'm not the only one who could think of that, playing on the guitar that way. So because I was not giving the angle for my leg, so not like this but like that, so, and then what will happen is that this leg is higher than this one, so the guitar could be actually even lifted like so that's also a very good positive thing, because it will make easier for you to approach the guitar from the bottom. But essentially, if you would be doing playing like this, then you basically, if you would be doing like this, so you're moving your what is this called? Elbow. In this, wow, from your body, outer, wow, from your body. And you'll be keeping like this, then this is no way, that's not gonna work. You won't be relaxed. And if you will be playing like so, also you won't relax. So actually that's just me, you know, but that's what I noticed. So now I need to make sure that this part of my body is actually looking this direction, and if I do this, then this shoulder doesn't feel like it's, you know, it's like I'm tearing it apart or I'm trying to dislocate my shoulder, because that's actually how I feel it. And for a lot of years when I was trying to play tremolo, at some point my left hand would say, no way, I'm not gonna play that anymore. And the reason for this, it's because of this weird fucking dislocating shoulder, you know. I was using my shoulder like this, I was opening my well, this chest, and the shoulder is rotated like that right now. And if I'm sitting like this, so I'm making sure that my body is is rotated the opposite direction that my knees are. So my knees are looking that direction and my body has to be there. So now I can have perfect angle in my wrist. So it's perfectly flat. Then my shoulder is looking that way, almost in front, and that causes that does not feel anymore like it's dislocating. This hand is fully relaxed right now. Seriously, it's like fully relaxed. And the moment I will, so I need to convince my head, my body, that I can safely hit the fretboard, and the guitar will not do this. Right? So what do we do not to get that situation? Well, we press our thumb, right? The opposite direction, right? So you press the thumb and you then are pressing the notes with your fingers. And the more of this tension you're gonna do, the more this arm suffers. And that's really unnecessary. There is no need to suffer while playing. You can be damn right that if it hurts you, if something hurts you, clearly you're not doing this correctly ergonomically. Why hugging the guitar? So you hug the guitar so that actually this fretboard, right? Look, it's the chest is blocking the neck right now, and I am able to make force with the finger. Right? So I'm able to press with the fretboard with the finger, and it will make the sound. So I can actually, if it's blocked on my chest, actually do the same with the finger here. right? But it's way convenient to actually I forgot what I was trying to say. Forgot. Okay, so we have the shoulder, we have this angle, our hand is like that, it's flat here. There's no this, it's just flat. Shoulder there. Our S is further than the knee. The knee is, if this is my waist, then the knee is here. So like in the distance to the right. And now the most important part. It will take you some time to figure out how to keep the peak, right? But trust me, you will eventually it all will come naturally to you, like how to hold the peak this way or that way or another way. As long as you will build your first block correctly. So in the case of 8th note block, I actually don't care if you be, keeping it like that, like this, like this, like that, as long as it's relaxed, and it's in time, it's fine. So how to build, let's say, this perfect, fundamental block? Well, group. Well, it will be perfect if you will first play the first one, and then in the appropriate amount of time play the second one. So all together will be right, and it will be better the more in time it is compared to the metronome. So if I will be playing with the metronome has 4 quarter notes. And now we are at the stage where you have to divide the time in half, right? So you are playing 2 notes instead of 1 note. Well, you are playing 2 8th notes, that's what I'm trying to say. And the time of playing this, has to be equal of time of playing this, in case of alternate picking. So the way how you're gonna teach your hand how to do this movement, the same way you have to teach your hand to do that movement, okay? And you have to do it equally. You can't make this movement easier for yourself than this movement. It has to be equally easy for you. So that and this has to be equally easy. When will it be easy? Again, it will be easy when you will be relaxed. When I am relaxed. You are relaxed when you will be like so happy from how you play that you would like to, sing, although you can't sing for shit. First of all, you can compare it to the metronome, and second of all, suddenly, if you would be playing with let's say some well-known song backing track, or actually, no backing track, actually the original number, when you will be playing, nobody could spot a difference between you and the band. Like they wouldn't say that there is somebody additionally playing. That's where you're aiming for in the timing, because probably the band, since they are good, they are doing the timing correctly. So that you don't have to play not necessarily always with the metronome. But how to get there? So your task when you begin practicing the guitar, your task is to divide or play two notes with the same way. So you will have to figure out how optimally you would like to make this movement, and how make optimally this movement. And all you have to remember is that this is 1, this is 2, right? It's not that like the metronome says, like click clack, click clack. The click is actually the click is at this point, and the clack is at this point. So from your perspective, you have to add time for movement, right? So click clack, click clack. So the click is at this moment when you strike the pick with the string, the string with the pick. That's when the metronome clicks. And your job is to figure out how much time you are supposed to add to your, time in air you're supposed to add when your hand comes from top to the bottom. So you're adding time from here to the string and from the string towards the air, right? Because later on you're supposed to do the second note, and then again it's like time needed to approach the string, and then you're supposed to leave the string in order to be prepared for the next movement. And then when it's the next movement, you're like, okay, how much time do I need to be at the string in about 0 point something of a second? It really, in my opinion, this is what literally is happening in our bodies when we play the guitar. But it's all muscle, powered by muscle memory, so it's not like you're fucking calculating alpha, omega, sinus, cosinus, this and that shit. No, it's like you just feel it, And I have not calculated how to fucking split it in half, everything. It just happens. So that's why it's so necessary first to learn properly the building block. Because if you will not learn this building block, like 8th note, like 16th note, like half note, and then for example triplet, if you will not understand those concepts in a way that like your muscle memory has this implemented, then it's no good. So whatever you're gonna be doing on the guitar, you will not succeed. Like, trust me, you will not succeed, because neither your left hand will be relaxed, neither the right hand will be relaxed. Why? Trust me, your body feels when there is half. Your hands might not be there, but your body feels when there is half. Well, actually, listen, it's not like you have to demand from your body to tell you like where is like the tick and tack. You can just play the metronome, and the metronome will be telling you where is the tick-tack. The problem is that your fingers will be not doing the tick-tack on time. You will be probably for the most of the time either before the tick or after too much the tick. But rarely on the point with the metronome signal. So if you can't play, if you can't divide, you know, a single note value, like you know, like quarter note into two 8 notes, if it's very slow, you will not be able to divide it even if it's faster, and you will not be able to divide it even if it's very, very fast. So forget about solos, I don't know, fast shredding things. Why? Because how you're supposed to, like, how do you think it's gonna work? If you can't divide the time when you have plenty of time to calculate, think about it, and you're still not on time, then you think you'll be on time when it's be faster. What? Come on, be honest with yourself. That won't work this way. The only way to get faster and is to get more relaxed. And how to get more relaxed? It's if your body would be less stressed. And how to create less tension on your body, less stress, less fatigue? Be more on time. And why? Your body already knows how to divide time. It's just that we don't have the muscle memory that would be responding so instantaneously you know, very quickly, instantly, instantly, to the signal from the brain. I just assume. And not only, this is the key part. So you are stressed. Your body parts are stressed because either you are sitting like a freaking cripple like myself, you know, and it's not ergonometric. You know, it has to be, you're supposed to feel relaxed in that way, that those fingers feel that there is no need for this finger to be pushing harder than it needs, because that's the signal for them actually to not produce that much of, you know, force on the fret, I think. And that will allow this hand actually to be on time, because if it's fucking constrained all the time, if it's constrained, right, always, then it can't be on time. You know why it can't be on time? Because when there is time, when, you know, when you're dividing this time, etc., the way I see it, you're supposed to feel the time. When the time is correctly divided, you can bounce to you can vibe with this, right? When it's correctly. Something like that. And if it's not, then it's hard to, you know, vibe to that, because it's so not even. So your job is to figure out how you're gonna move the pick from top to bottom and from bottom to top in exactly the same way how the metronome would suggest you to do it, right? So it's your job to measure how much the pick can fly from the string and then in this direction and this direction, because it has to be what? Equal. If it will be equal, then it will resonate with your body. Trust me, you will fucking notice. It will resonate, right? When it just resonates, then it just feels that the hand is so relaxed that it doesn't do any work. Like people are doing, you know, crazy fast tremolo, no sweat, and you're already sweating with, like, you know, when you're trying to play something with 100 BPM. So the person who can play with 200 BPM, he is 2 times more accurate than you are. If a person would be able to play with 300 BPM, he would have to be 3 times more accurate than the person that plays it in 100 BPM. Because if you're accurate in with the metronome, you literally fucking, it's not even impossible for you not to play on time. It's just not possible. It's not about how fast you are playing it. It's just about how you're gonna divide the notes. How accurately you are dividing the notes. Why? Because you have to be as close to the in order to be resonating with this, with this bass beat. You have to be on time. And how to get there? So basically, you can't just, you can't just try to come up with some complex leaks, practices, things like that. God no. Just do this. 8 notes. And then 16 notes. And then 32 notes. And start as slow as it's when it's possible, like, I don't know, 20-30 BPM. Because first, well, you cannot be accurate, it's simply impossible. Or maybe, when you are this natural, etc. Maybe it's that. But let's say that you are like me and you are not natural, then how you can, learn dividing time, right? So I'll select my metronome to 60. And then how you're supposed to, be mechanically ready to play, to divide the time in the same way how the metronome does the division. Start with this kind of movement, like this. Play like this. The bigger hand movement, the better, for this exercise. And now follow the metronome. You don't want to stand in air, right? If anything, you can just stay in the air for like a microsecond at the peak position. Peak position is the height of the peak towards, compared to the, with the string. And it has to be equal when it's going up and the same equal when it's down. So your hand doesn't go like this and then like that. It doesn't do like, well, technically it's possible, there are smart people that can, be comfortable with this as well. But we are talking about learning the fundamentals. So your aim is to spend the same, so that this movement will take the same amount of time as this movement, and that you will not be spending time here, not moving. So you don't do this, right? But what you want is that if your hand is already up, then the only reason why it's up is because it has to go down. So I'll try now. I'll shut up and I'll try to be on time now. make the move smaller and smaller. And you would have to think about this movement that like this. Start slowly. So that's the same move actually that you are doing it with this. That's the whole point. That you start from this radius, but then it's actually the same movement when you are making the movement slower. But that's the same thing. So you start slowly, you play with the metronome. I don't care like how you would be trying to figure out how to divide the time in half. Maybe because, I don't know, the pick can fall on the second string. Or doing like I suggest. Smaller and smaller moves. And only so you would play it like this. And remember about gluing your tucking your elbow to your ribs. When you will tuck in your elbow to your ribs, then you will make sure that the shoulder is actually looking at that direction. Like that. Don't do it like that. Do it like this. And look. So first you need to learn this. On one string, on one note. So you need to learn how to don't do anything else other than dividing, a 16 note to 8 notes. Just do that. And once you will be good at it, you will resonate, you can vibe to it. Well, not like this, but then you can increase the complexity. Trust me, there is no point whatsoever in browsing, searching, googling for more complex exercises than that. Trust me, there is no point. It will introduce too much complexity, which is not needed when you are learning the building blocks. So the same way you will learn, 8 notes, then 16 notes, then 32 notes. Once you're happy with this, then learn triplets, sextuplets. And how to progress. And even with one finger, you can already make a different complexity. So when you are practicing this, your initial bass block, you would play, alternate. I'm talking about alternate picking. So you would start from you know how to down pick, then up, so downstroke, upstroke, downstroke, upstroke. So for every exercise you will ever come up with from now on, so if you come up with this exercise, just by, you know, it's all alternate picking, down, up, down, up, and you just do this. It will take you at least like a week, 2-3 weeks, maybe more, God knows. But that's what you're supposed to learn. Once you are done with this, then you do exactly the same, but the opposite direction. So you start from upstroke. And then we make progress that we're gonna use 2 fingers now, this and this. No, just 8. Basically, you have to map out all different possibilities with different speed, with different rhythms, and you're supposed to map it to muscle memory. And then start from this one, and then the opposite direction. But it all, and again, I'll just repeat myself, you won't do shit if you will not learn how to do the very basic step on how to divide your first time in 2. So your first 16th note you will be dividing into 8 notes. So if you can't divide this, don't try to play any songs unless you are training with the metronome, and you are trying to learn them as, you know, how to divide the time. Because as soon the faster you will learn how to divide in half, then the faster you can learn how to divide in 3, and that's basically it. Then the later practice will be about how to do it more often, quicker, and blah blah blah. But basically those are 2 things you're supposed to know how to do it, and you won't be able to do them if you're not relaxed. I haven't even talked about how to then be relaxed like altogether. So the groove comes that you build the groups. And you have to, in order to get into the groove, to be relaxed, when you make one group, you connect it with the second group, with some gap of time. Well, ideally there should be 0 gap of time, but I can't do that, or well, not yet. So I just, so in my opinion, you get this by holding the same amount of time for the break between the groups every time. That's how you will build the feeling. Because the thing is that when you play this, the gap, the waiting gap is already there. So one group, gap, second group. But the thing is that this gap is there and it's hearable when you play that slow, but if you are playing it very fast, then basically you won't have time to hear that gap even there. But you have to play slowly and include this gap. And this gap, you treat it like a relaxed moment for yourself. So that what does it mean? That at this moment when you have the, like groups, let's say that the groupings with 3 notes in each group, and you put the accent on, let's say, first note in the group, right? So it's like this. Right? And every this, your body has to get into mode of like break the tension, like immediately break the tension, and then get back to the tension. But when the group ends and group starts, that's the moment where you can use this gap to stand, and rest a little bit. So rest, 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 rest. Of course, I'm over exaggerating, but you get my point. So you don't start learning how to play the guitar from playing like this. You're supposed to start, and there should be no tension here. If you feel any tension, then you're not doing this right. There should be no tension here, no tension here, and when you have no tension, then you focus then on 2 hands, then they start relaxing at the same time. That's what makes them synced. So when this hand does this, and this hand does this, they are supposed to be doing this thing at the same time. So when this hand does this, and this one does this, then they have to do it at the same time. Your job is to figure out when to move this finger towards the fretboard, and when to move this hand with pick, so that they meet at the same time. So you can start even like this. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And every what am I doing? Yeah, no, so you will relax both hands at the same time. Relax, relax, relax. So you build that also kind of, so you relax when you are in the gap, and that's how you also are building the vibe, that's how you will sound that you feel. I don't know how to say this. So And what I have not been explaining here is the complete, well, so there is no actual need to do that kind of complex exercise. Don't suggest. If you will be making them more complex, then start from the basics. Because when you are adding more strings to the exercise, then you have to watch closely your right hand, like you would seriously be watching them. Seriously, you have to look at your right hand and the pick in order to see whether your hand is actually doing this motion or not, and not like that down, 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 up, down. Seriously, down, up, down. Seriously, look at this. Can be like this. And you're supposed to just one thing. Up, and then, down, for example, and then up. It sounds really easy what I have just said, but in reality, that's the whole point, in playing the guitar. If you can divide time in half, and then you can combine all your building blocks on time, meaning that you can glue those blocks using the pause, like the gap, and that's when you can relax. That's how I'm actually learning this. Like I'm over exaggerating. So, and if you, and this will, I don't know, like for me it takes now, I think that in 1 year, if you would be learning, the guitar the correct way, in 1 year you should be really, really, really good at the guitar, like really, really good. Like you can play almost any song. Because if you can play this, then you can play anything else. Of course, assuming that you can play also this. That's all you have to know. Yeah, so that's all. Any questions?